So hey guys, and welcome back to X-Plane 11. So yes, back in the live streams, and back with the usual Saturday stuff. So, flying with the Ryanair again, with virtual Ryanair, the RYR, standard stuff, Echo India Delta Yankee Alpha, and today we'll be flying from Venice Marco Polo, where we landed last week, to Bristol International. So flight time will be about 2 hours 20 minutes today, so a nice longer one I guess for Ryanair. Not quite as not quite the length of that flying to Athens. I think that's probably our longest flight so far. But regardless, should be a pretty good one. This aircraft's going on the ground, everything's set up as it should be, and then yeah, making our way. So I'm starting up with turnaround mode. So engines stuff already active. Well, no, engines are inactive, but we're on ground power and all that. And so yeah, should be all right. Looking a bit jumpy the frame rate on the stream right now, but I'm sure that'll pick up as time goes on. But while I'm here, let's prepare the aircraft for turnaround, make sure all the pumps are off and all that. And yeah, start filling up the aircraft. Passengers should also arrive, they'll be coming on the bus. And as always, we'll now be using PACX for the majority of our streams. Could be a little more central actually. There we go. So first things first, we'll start up all the flight trackers. So Project Fly will start, and Virtual Ryanair Smart Cars. We shall start in a couple of moments. Just got to bring the bus over. So that'll be ground handling, bring the two buses. And just behind us, the buses should now move into position. It just has to hope. If not, we'll just kickstart them again. Show control panel. Yeah, so just tell them all to drive up again. Right, so that'll take a couple of seconds. We'll now start the flights there. And while they also arrive, we'll now pick up PACX. So start of flights, flying from Lips to Echo Golf Golf Delta. We'll be departing in approximately, I'll say 10 past, so maybe 22 minutes. 21 by the time I finish all this typing. Flight time will be 2 hours 20. Cruising altitude 38,000. And flight number FR. Where's our flight number today? It's FR 8241. 8241, perfect. Flying at 737-800, standard Ryanair stuff. And I believe it's 174 passengers on board. Smart Cars will tell us. Yeah, 174. Whoops, come on, there we go. Custom safe demonstration. We'll be using the Ryanair standards. And press OK once you tick over to the end of the minutes. Like I say, try and like to be quite accurate with my stuff. There we go. So start the flights. We'll be departing in about 21 minutes. Passengers, like I say now, will be boarding in the back, and I'll get started my flight plan. So yeah, if you're tuning onto the stream, welcome to you guys. Flights in weekend actually. Flights next by weekend in the US, so some things I guess to talk about, but no real major announcements just yet. But I'm always keeping a close eye with that. So it's Lips to Echo Golf Golf Delta. Welcome channel guys as well, welcome to the stream if you're just tuning in. Company routes, we'll plug that in. FR 8241. And departure runway will be 22 left. At least I believe that'll be the weather. Let's have a look. Show everyone's online as well. Export box shows online. Winds are 4 knots 170, so yeah, 22 makes sense. And it's LSAS Centre. I don't know if we'll be tuning into them actually. I'm not quite sure what area they cover. I don't think it's Italy though, but I could be incorrect. So this is page now, so fuel. Yeah, they don't cover Venice, they cover Liechtenstein. So we'll clear that. Where are you? There you go, squawk box. Sets up the fuel weight balance. Total fuel on board required is 8.365. Back we go. And set. All looks good. Yeah, it's perfect. Right. Next thing I want to do is set up the seatbelt sign since we are now fueled, and the truck may drive away. You can disappear. And after that, it will be Back to your FMS. So ZFW set, reserves 1.1, standard Ryanair stuff, cost next 23, cruising altitude of 380. Cruising winds, average winds are currently at 328.59. So 328 at 59 knots. Execute that. N1 limit sets this. And now the route. Not too many waypoints to plug in today. Starting off with Rokib, which will be our departure, followed by Quebec 333 to Untad. Then it's directs to Risia. Up 131. Sun is now setting, so we'll be turning on the cockpit lights for sure. Our GAX, also turn on the logo lights at this rate. Hopefully there'll be some sunset by the time we depart. Uniform Lima 613 to Didot. Whoops, don't put that in again. Next is UT10 to Airball. Uniform Tango 421 to Big. Nice and simple. And then finally it's Uniform Lima 9 to Charlie Papa Tango CPT, which will be our final waypoint for the flight. Activate that, execute departure, departure. Roki 5 Victor is the usual one for us here. Execute that, stick onto init ref, we use 10 degrees of flaps, center gravity set, 1, 2, 3. That is our aircraft set. Look outside quickly from the cabin, all looking good. All looking good. From the back, it's a fairly standard cabin today for departure. Like I said, I hope the stream's not lagging too much the image. If not, then I'll try and kill off some of the settings. Yeah, the streams are looking a little bit heavy in some aspects. Alright, we'll minimise this for now. Minimise, so I should close project's flight. We do not require this anymore, so that can go. And then that we can minimise too. So let's say passengers now continue boarding. Welcome Robbie, hang on. Uniform Lima 9, upper limit Lima 9, due to your high airway routing, little for your information. Okay. Upper Lima 9. Yeah, because I'm not too sure like what the general routings I guess mean when it comes to this kind of stuff, but it's something I'm very much learning. I mean, bearing in mind I'm doing NPP at the moment, then it's not something I really go into. I'm usually flying VFR, but UL upper line, sorry, upper Lima. Okay, alright, something I can always pick up on, especially with VFR flying. Right, set up the tablet for what I require. So airports, lips. Also add another one for Golf Delta. Refresh the lips data. We need to have QNH of 1020. Sets the backup as well. 17, 18, 19, 20. That's looking good. Flight directors armed and armed. Overhead panel. Seatbelt sign is on. Fuel pumps on the left will now come on. Ready for the APU to start up. So up Lima due to the higher airways. And then just use Lima, sorry, Alpha, lower airways. Okay, that is cool to learn. Next, I will be requiring nothing else particularly from here. We'll start up the APU. Hold that until dial moves. There we go. And anything else I should require from the tablet? I don't think so. We'll set the pre-plan request for better pushback. Runs it from a previous flight, so accepts that.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. If you have trouble finding a location for any of your carry-on items,
I've lost my water bottle. I hope I don't need to get too thirsty for departure.
inside of
Very
it,
weird.
please close the door
Anyways,
and
Paxson in the background do their thing. While passengers aboard, I'll
Once
also
all
do a
your
quick
items
announcement
are
as
put
well.
away, please clear the aisle and sit
Good
down
evening, ladies and
to allow
gentlemen.
other
It's your captain
passengers
speaking from the
to
flight
find
deck.
as
Welcome
well.
aboard the flight
If
FR
you need an
9721
emergency
to
exit
Bristol
row,
from
please
Venice.
exercise
And
responsibility
we do
and
welcome you on the
card
flight
is
today.
back in
Flight time will be
front of
about 2 hours
you.
20
Please ensure you
minutes,
are
and we'll be
willing
departing
and
very
able to perform
shortly.
actions
So
required.
sit back,
If you're
relax,
not
and enjoy the
able or
flight.
prefer not to perform these actions, please let a flight attendant know so you can be reseated.
Right,
More
hopefully
frequently, use your
that'll be the
portable
first
electronic
time we get a
devices
message
during
in
the boarding
without it
process.
cutting me off.
We ask that larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your captain speaking from the flight deck. Welcome aboard the flight FR 9721 to Bristol from Venice. And we do welcome you on the flight today. Flight time will be about 2 hours 20 minutes. We'll be departing very shortly. So sit back, relax, enjoy the flights. Sounds very good. Like I said, I do really enjoy PACX and what it brings to the simulator. And well, like I said, sometimes it does cut off my voice when speaking. But if I do speak fast enough, it does get the whole message in. Alright, power on the APU, APU bleed on. Ground services, GPU disconnects, remove chocks. And we'll start clearing up the vehicles as well. So first thing to go will always be the forward cargo conveyor belts, since we don't particularly have much cargo on board. Buses can also go since we are basically completed with boarding anyway. And then that'll be followed by the stairs. Just a couple of moments. Exit switch closed first, and then it's the stairs that pull away. So those will now be secured. Buses are out of the way. Stairs can now all go. Everything drive away, clear up the area. Perfectly done. Right, so like I said, TL sign is active. We'll bring up all the fuel pumps now. We should require a sensor forward tank, but not for much. And since we don't have any active tower, we'll basically be on our own for the majority of our ATC communications. Alright, set this to 38. 7, 8. Whoops, still high. There we go. Set this to 38. And then we'll set our rotate speed as well, which will be 141. The runway here at Venice ain't particularly a short one, so that should be alright. Fun fact, I'm actually going to fly to Venice in the real world on Tuesday. That's something I'll talk about more as the stream goes on. Right, well now let's go to ground services, better pushback, or request pushback. We'll start making our way towards the runway very shortly.
Ground and cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And that means we should no longer require this tablet either. Here comes the tug. And as far as I'm aware, passengers for the most part should now be boarding. There you go, still boarding. Most start movements, that will all be complete. I do have a window open, so hopefully you won't hear too much background noise. But it's inevitable, someone will speak or something out there. Or in this case, you could hear the car horns probably.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Right, you connect. I just realised I need to set up my lighting for the flights. Panel lights we don't really need. Panel lights, that one we do. Background lights, tiny bits. Same with the floodlights. Overhead, I need to turn up. Where are they? Panel lights and circuit breaker. That's all looking good. And pushback will start in just a couple of seconds.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Right, engine to start. Engine to active. Yeah, it's more of the fact how I'm actually recording this. I'm sure that if I had it set to... Ooh, actually no, because I'm... Oh no, it has done. I'm sure if I did like that, it'd be a little smoother. But not quite as nice looking, I will say. Plus, with the other mode, the PACX window, this one, will not be able to open. So we'll have to live without it. Like I said, as time goes on, I will work on kind of smoothing out the system, as well as improving it to kind of make it look a lot nicer as well. Alright, so like I said, engine 1 we need to start up. Engine 1 start. In a couple of moments we'll then set up the parking brake once you stop. And then it's just a case of getting the flaps down and trim set. There we go, the evening sunset starting to now disappear. It will most likely be for night time by the time we do get airborne.
Stand by.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard. Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seatbacks must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare cabin for departure.
Alright, let's disconnect hand signals.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screens for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
There we go. So, trim down to temp. Trim it needs to be 395. And auto brake will set once the aircraft is done. Right, bleed set, pack set. APU not off because I need to turn off the switch to power first. Make sure I haven't actually messed anything up just yet, although it looks alright. FMS still set. Yeah, we're fine. Alright, TCAS comes live. Parking brakes released, and I am off to the runway.
The cabin is ready for takeoff.
Alright, we'll quickly announce taxiing to runway 22, lips, ground. Now as you follow the taxi lines, since we are now moving, it's not a particularly long taxi to runway. And well, we should be airborne in about 6 minutes, that's expected. So, we're not doing too bad for timing either, that's also to say. Bring back the throttle a tiny bit. What are you guys doing? Got two conveyor belts here. They've kind of stopped in my path right now. I can't particularly do much until both of them pass. I'll cut the throttle just in case. There we go. Throttle's gonna go back up again since they have now moved out of the way. Man, this airport can be a bit weird sometimes with ground traffic, I will say. When it comes to my premiere on Tuesday for the inbound flights, yeah, it's not like it's a little bit interesting. Regardless, we'll continue with taxi. So it's runway 22 I want. 22 left. So make the left hand turn here. Go down to the end of the runway. Go for a quick weather update. Wind speeds are 7 knots, 140, that's fine. We'll turn off the data I don't require on the PFD, so that's airports and stations. All I care about is my magenta line and getting the aircraft to destination over, and TCAS as well. TFC has been set to traffic. Yeah, it should be quite a nice evening departure this. I'm sure that the lights coming off the ground sounds will be rather interesting, especially over Venice itself. Right, start holding the aircraft tiny bits. We don't particularly need to backtrack for this airport, so we'll stop as it is now. Landing lights on. Ejector brake off set. Flaps set, trim set. Auto throttle active. Departing runway 22. Lips traffic. Parking brakes released. Never set them. So now head down to the runway. No one's responding. I was keeping an eye outside for any incoming traffic as well. Otherwise, left looks clear, as does the right. Getting his co-pilot to do a better view of it. Yeah, everything's looking pretty good now. So increase the throttle, cross the runway, and let's get out of it. Crossing active runway number 1. Just keep an eye out for anyone coming in. Like I say, don't quite know what's going to happen on that's some active runways. Sometimes you can get people just to annoy. I have had one of those in the past before, once or twice, so that's it's always best to stay aware, I guess. Let's push to the left a bit. Align the runway. Alright, throttle up 50%. Both engines stable. Off we go.
knots.
80 knots. V1 rotates. Positive rate, gear up. $400. Landing gear lock. That's up to 5. LNAV, VNAV set, autopilot active. Flaps up to 1 degree. Brakes off. 1000. Otherwise, don't require to bring the brakes flaps up just yet. Not looking particularly bad, that. Flying out in the over the Italian sunset. So that's going to be a pretty one for us. And flying towards the UK. Means that the sunset may last a little bit longer as well. Flaps up now to retracted. There we go. How's that? Not too bad looking, eh? Like I said, it'll be about 2 hours and 20 minutes till landing. We do hope to try and cut back some of that time. But flying to the UK, flying north in Europe, usually means that winds will be against you. There you go, it's already a 6 knot headwind, so we'll make a right turn shortly. And that'll bring us on to our first waypoint of the flights. Make sure this is the next waypoint, because I know sometimes that we can be a little bit funny with our first turns. But otherwise, everything's looking pretty much standard at the moment. Double check the overhead panel, make sure everything's been set correctly, which it has been done. That little drop in power didn't cause too much hassle for us, which is fine. And well, yeah, sensor fuel tank is active and still got a little bit of fuel left. That won't be particularly too long until we need to switch that off. Soon to pass through 6,000, so only sets the standard altimeter at that point. There we go. Although I'm sure the view from the right hand side of the aeroplane, I think that's the more spectacular bit right now. Left hand side, a little less so. But now with the sunset, this is certainly looking best. It ain't bad, that. Really isn't. Yeah, through 8,000. Sensor fuel tank is empty, so we'll switch those pumps off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated and do not congregate in the galleys or near the lavatories.
Right, we'll let the turn level off and we'll switch off the seatbelt sign. What did he say, sorry? What do you use cabin crew sounds? Oh, what do I use for cabin crew sounds? PACX, new add-on by TFDI Design. Basically, it puts simulates passengers within your aircraft. So, in a second, I'll talk to the passengers. In fact, I'll do a recording now. Actually, no, best not to. Yeah, we'll do it. Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck. It's your captain speaking. We have now passed 10,000 feet and we'll be switching off the seatbelt signs very shortly, as well as starting off our in-flight service. The sunset's looking grand right now and will be for the majority of the flight until we land at Bristol. Once again, we do thank you for flying Ryanair and we hope to see you in a future flight. Alright, that'll be a general or generic.
Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight
Switch
deck.
off the seatbelt sign now.
Now past 10,000 feet and we'll be switching off the seatbelt signs very shortly, as well as starting off our in-flight service. The sunset's looking grand right now and will be for the majority of the flight until we land at Bristol. Once again, we do thank you for flying Ryanair.
Yeah, so it does sometimes cut you off a little early, but that's something I will speak to Colin about. Thank you, sorry. What's your name's Alarm for subscribing, much appreciated. One's used for visual overhead lights too, don't get them. I'm cheating here basically. This is what my sim actually looks like. This is what you're seeing. Basically, I'm using a color correction filter to slightly adjust my game visuals because I can't afford any of the fancy add-ons, so yeah, I have to cheat a little bit. But if it looks good, then I'll certainly keep them going. And like I say, I want to try and improve my sim, make it a bit more visually appealing for you guys. And well, I don't particularly have much of a budget, so if I can use it via, or just edit it via OBS directly, then hey, what's stopping me? But no, I'm afraid this is just a little bit of a cheat I've gone for. And this is my first stream using actually, so if someone's noticed it, then fair play. Right, so seatbelt sign is now off, like I say, and everything is pretty much set until we start our descent later on. I'll do another announcement once we get to our cruising altitude. As well, the 10,000 feet one I don't normally go for, but I decided to go for it just in this case to show you Alarm the system how it works. But the chats that I normally go for are welcome aboards, cruising altitudes, then it's top of descent, cabin crew 10 minutes to landing, seats for landing, and then welcome to our destination. So yeah, those ones that I mainly like to go for. And I'm sure as time goes on I learn how to use PACX a little bit more. There'll be a few more of them that I'll start using. But like I said, it's not particularly bad looking ad on this. And I will say my light filters have really kind of brought this to life. Like, I'm not going to lie. The sim looks quite... I guess... That's the thing about X-Plane. It may look bland, I guess, at times with default, but it is realistic. It is realistic. I mean, the lightings and stuff you got right now, it's very exaggerated.
Passenger Escobar. This is in regards to a special meal. Would you please identify yourself to a flight attendant? Passenger Escobar, please.
I've never liked that passenger Escobar message. I think it kind of kills the Zibo a little bit. It's a Zibo one, not a sim one. But yeah, it's not particularly my favourites. It's been a little while since I last heard it, so I won't lie. What was I going to say? Yeah, so X-Plane 11's default lighting's realistic, but a little bland. So by sticking the filter on it, it does kind of bring it a little bit to life. Put a little bit more of the visual appeal over it. I realised that we actually haven't turned off the landing lights yet. We should have done that at 10,000. Like I say, the most part of the flight's now done for departure. So sit back, relax, enjoy the sunsets until we start looking at our arrival in a while. Not expecting it to be a major, like, problematic flight. Especially now that winter is behind us, the days are certainly getting longer, and the weather starting to get a bit easier as well. I do need to check the weather actually over the UK and London, so we have had the storms recently, but I believe most of that is now behind us, and as a result, should be a fairly calm approach in. Like I said, double check the weather reports. In fact, let's have a look at the weather over... Let's have a look at London weather, shall we? It's 20 knots, yes, 20 knots, 260. And Bristol, it's only about, yeah, 18, so it could be fairly turbulent. Hopefully it'll calm down as the flight goes on, but, like I said, no real way to kind of guarantee that. Tried FS Enhancer, it's a nice add-on for visual. I've heard of FS Enhancer. Let me have a look at it. Yeah, I've heard of FS Enhancer. And let me have a look at one thing. Is this a freeware add-on? Yeah, okay, it is free. I'll certainly have a look at it then. I mean, the problem is, I guess, with my system, it's not particularly the most high-end. If you check the description, you can see my stats on that, my specs. It's certainly far from the top tier systems you normally get, so hopefully it'll work. I'll have a look into it. I'll give it a go off stream as well, but until I can sort myself a new GPU, I'm quite limited to what I'm using at the moment. So yeah, it's definitely my GPU that's letting me down at the moment. Sorting out a few things off camera regarding the stream. Basically, whenever someone subscribes, donates, hosts, whatever, across Twitch and YouTube, the image is at the moment set to trains. The recent is a train stream. I need to set this to the aeroplane so that I get the correct overlay. So when you subscribed alarm, it showed you a picture of a train. Though now if all goes to plan, if I go to, is it widgets, no, recent events. Let me quickly clear it again if it's still there. Yes, it has. There you go. That's what it should have been, the aeroplane. Tried many different freeware add-ons, visual, and many are up with the best. Okay, sounds good. So yeah, FS and Arts I'll definitely add to my list. Might mess around with it tonight. They can't see where the gaps in the mesh are. That's just because my LOD radius system, like I say, it's not particularly the best of worlds, so hopefully I can pick up on that. But it's better than that, I guess, where it's just quite bland in defaults. At least with that's a lot more visually appealing, like I say. Alright, let's have a look at our passengers, shall we? They're very satisfied at the moment. I presume there'll be a fair mix of leisure and business this time. Yes, there is. Yeah, that's pretty much a standard. Any names that stand out? Not particularly. Regardless, should be alright. We also have now look at active towers, see if there's one that we may actually be speaking to today. Squawk box shields online. We have, oh gosh, Germany is very active, as is Switzerland. There you go, so I just tuned in now. Frankfurt. And if I have a look at Project Supply's map, let me have a look at what we got. So we may actually be speaking to some of the Swiss towers. And yeah, London Centre is online, so we could be speaking to London as well if they're still online by the end of my flights. So the air traffic control in London and the whole Europe's fairly active in the in the west. Although I'm sure more of it will arrive once time goes on. It's a Saturday, so yeah, so I expect to know a few more people online. What's the name of the add-on? Does it cost much? So this is called PACX, PACX, and it costs $29.99 American dollars. So it's about £23 UK. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like I said, I do if I enjoy it. It's a very nice add-on to have. Oh yeah, and like I said, it's not particularly this green either. It's just cheating. This is what PAX actually looks like. Oh, yeah, you can't see about the filter. But yeah, no, it's not a bad add-on this. I do thoroughly enjoy using it. Welcome Benny, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome channel, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Sorry if I was must, but cannot find it. No worries, I'll drop a link in the chat if that helps. Let me see if I can grab the chat window. It will be that. This. Right, let me get you a link for it. And there you go. Hopefully that has worked. Yes, it has. It's gone and just drops it on all of my links. There we go. Yeah, so have a look at that. Let me know what you think. But like I say, it's not a half bad add-on and still in early access. So do bear in mind that as time goes on, there'll actually be a lot more updates coming in. But I have thoroughly enjoyed it so far. Okay, choose the menu. Yeah, sure thing. So, this is the main menu for PACX. You've got your standard passenger interaction here, so pre-recorded messages. Hang on, got to contact 123.8.5. Okay, give me a second to contact Tower, and then I'll show you the menu. Alright, so it's 128.5. We are Ryanair 99 Mike X-ray. That tunes the right tower. Shows online. Whoops. It's 128.050. Do that again quickly. There we go. That's much better.
Oh, sorry. Line number 340 Condor. 350 Condor.
Make sure no one else talking. Good evening, Swiss Radar. This is Ryanair 99 Mike X-ray with you at flight level 380.
Ryanair 99 Mike X-ray, Swiss Radar taking in your identified Crosswind direct for all the hotel control.
Proceed directs to Hawk for Ryanair 99 Mike X-ray. Nope, sorry, back a page. There we go. And direct. So, radar identified. Don't think we need to change our score in any way, so let's now make this turn. Right, quick review. So I'll be doing a full review on PACX on my channel, so stick around for that video at some point soon. As well as an article on flightsim.com. But quick review and overview. So first you got your interactions here, your pre-recorded messages. So if I was to not have a microphone or didn't want to speak to passengers, I can use any of these, speak to passengers generically. You've got your voice here, so I can now click on it. And at this point it's now listening to my microphone, so whenever I speak into the microphone, it should in theory play back to the passengers in a cool pilot filter voice.
In a few moments, we'll be starting our in-flight
So I'll set it
service.
as a
We'll
generic
be
public
serving
address,
complimentary drinks and snacks.
and as soon as she
Please
finishes
look
talking,
at
it will
the
play
feedback for our list
that.
of complimentary and
Next, got your
premium
standard
drinks.
settings.
Premium
We can set
drinks
your
are
pop-up
available for a small
options,
charge.
your
Please
auto
note
hide
that we
delays and all
only
that.
accept credit cards.
So fairly simple.
This now listen to my microphone, so whenever I speak into the microphone, it should in theory play back to the passengers in a cool pilot filter voice.
There we go, that was the playback in the pilot voice. We've got instance here, so passenger start fighting whatever in the back, that was play. We've got the playback voice public address, which was just that. Network port if using a different system. Microphone we've gone through. And then the flight status. It shows your expected arrival time from what it says up at the beginning, as well as passenger satisfaction. Click on the picture of the people. And it shows you all of the passengers on board your flight, including a few stats about them when you click. An overall view of it, like I say, I do really enjoy it. It's quite a nice little add-on, especially when it comes to actually kind of simulating passengers in your aircraft. I mean, I'm a long-time user of FS Passengers, and there hasn't really ever been an alternative, I guess, since its demise a couple of years ago. Well, not demise, but it never made it to P3D V4 or X-Men 11, as the developer behind it. He's been in and out of the hospital, not feeling too great for like a little fair while, so this is about as close as you're going to get to an alternative to FS Passengers, and I do thoroughly enjoy it. So that's an add-on that I would highly recommend. Like I say, especially because it's an early access, if you just ever find a problem or if you want to add a feature, stick it in the TFDI forums and yeah, they'll take it into consideration. Likewise, at least in my case, I've got a direct line with Colin, so if I ever find an issue, I've got a quick priority access, I guess, to him. Since, yeah, he's not too bad to talk to. He's around on a few of the Discord channels, so you can find him on there as well quite easily. But no, PACX, it's been a good add-on. I've not really had many issues with it. My only complaint so far is still the fact that it cuts off my microphone at times when it's very annoying. So once the flights to next weekend is completed, I'll definitely go hunt him down to fix that. So, that was a nice little overview for the add-on. And speaking of, well, Venice, like I said at the start, on Tuesday, I'm also flying to Venice in the real world. So I've got a few flights pre-recorded, because for those who are new to my channel will know, that I do like to... Oh, okay, thank you, Goran, much appreciated, much appreciated. No worries, man. Good to see from you again. I've noticed you started streaming. I'd personally say it's a little bit too early for that, after what happened last week. I won't say it, but yeah, see you are starting to get yourself back up again. So like I say, on Tuesday, I'm flying to Venice in the real world, and so do check out the premiere. I'm only doing a day trip this time, so fly out in early morning, leave early evening, sorry, leave late evening, and you get to follow me in the real world for that. What's up with you, Bernie? Your messages kind of just disappeared down in chats. Yeah, so long it doesn't happen again. I can tell you for a fact that if it does, don't ever expect anybody to ever look at you again in this community. Because yeah, what you did wasn't cool, man. It wasn't cool.
Monitor Unicorn 112 Thank you for your service and bye bye. Condor on Space 1077, just for your information.
Right, so we are now cruising our altitudes, and we are about how long now till arrival? 1 hour 57. Smart Cars puts it at 1 hour 20, which is what I'm hoping it'll be more like, because it means I get a chance to use the "we are arriving early" function. Go ahead and schedule. But if that isn't the case, then I can always live without it. I mean, what is time difference now? 40, 20, yeah, it's about 20 minutes difference. But I do need to take into account my approach and my taxi time on the ground. So 2 hours 20 is quite accurate for this kind of flight. We need pretty strong tailwinds to beat that. But we're currently facing a 36 knot headwind, which does slow things down a fair bit. What app is that? Oh, this one. This is Smart Cars. This is the virtual airline tracking. So this is my flight right now, 99 X-ray. So I fly with virtual Ryanair via Drawyah, and so this is another add-on by TFDI. So same developer as this, and this is a virtual airline simulation. So there's a couple of VAMSys communities out there for different real-world airlines, and well, yeah. So this is our current flight we're doing now, but in this market pilot is Bristol. I'm already flying it, so I can't show you the setup page. ACARS is my current in-flight information, so it can view exactly what I'm doing in the flight, where I am and whatnot. And on the website, it'll then give you like your flight reports and all that once you end. Has a chat function, so you can talk to people if you want to. Premium if you want to go for the extra backup sort of stuff, and then a few settings, nothing particularly massive. But like I say, it's another fancy little tool by TFDI, and one that I do quite like using. Like I say, my sim is not particularly appealing, may not look always the great, but I do like my freeware extras on the outside. Yes, this is freeware, so PACX, passengers, payware, VAMSys, virtual airline stuff, freeware. And then if you look at some of the VAMSys communities, then those are the ones that you can go to find virtual airlines. There are a few others as well, but they're not quite as major.
What was the other station who has the exact 7,000 before? With 1077.
You saw me flying last night, and now I know why. Yes, okay, so you sort of see me on X-Men 11. But yeah, so that was just me getting a few videos up for the premieres. And so do tune in at 6 AM local time or 8:20 PM local time UK to watch my flights out and in. And these are both on Tuesday. Like I said, it's only a day trip this time. Reason behind it, my mother wants to start travelling a little bit more, because I've been doing a lot this year, as well as late last year. And well, yeah, she kind of wants me to come along. She likes to travel, well, she wants to travel more, but doesn't particularly want to do it alone. So it was like, Drawyah, take a day off work, and well, yeah, come join me in Venice. So booked tickets and all that. We're going to go on a boats. Forgot what they're called. What are they called? Gondola, that's it. We're going to go on a gondola. And then spend the rest of the day being tourists, I guess, looking around and doing stuff or getting back to the airports. And because Ryanair recently now go to Marco Polo rather than secondary airports, it means that we are now only 20 minutes away from the city centre, which is also an extra bonus. Got the bus tickets booked for that.
The 21570 is flight level 130.
Flight level 130, 6157.
Yeah, nice here. That's been quite active this evening. Always good to get a few controllers in, that's for sure. Passengers in the back, I'm sure they're all doing pretty fine. Left hand side view of the Alps, all looking good. Right hand side view of the Alps, not quite as major, but a few mountains in there. So we now are within 2 hours of landing. Still have the majority of the flight to go. And at this point we are just over Switzerland. Quickly stick onto the map view. Get an idea of where we are exactly. We're doing flights. You'll be doing last night's flights next weekend as ABS failed on you and is not responding. Fair enough. VATSIM or offline? That's the big question with you, Goran. VATSIM or offline? Fair enough, good luck.
Zurich Central, Antalya 183 Bravo, testing.
Right, how long will we be on Centre? We're only about halfway through to our Swiss crossings, so we'll have these guys for a little bit longer. Really enjoyed the ATC last night. Sounds good, sounds good. Like I say, in the most cases, the air traffic control in VATSIM ain't too bad. There are a few hiccups sometimes, but usually they are pretty good. And I mean, like I say, when you watch the outbound flights from Stansted to Venice, yeah, the air traffic controller on that one was certainly interesting, to say the least. But that was a bit of an influence from ground there, so I'm sure that's something that we'll also be looking at.
Swiss 1077.
It's 718, contact tower 118, decimal 1, happy landing, bye-bye. 118, 718, bye-bye. Now Italia 183, Bravo, climb flight level 120. Landing flight level 120, Italia 183 Bravo. West 215, turn right heading 070, expect flight level 100.
Left heading 070 and descend to flight level 100 with 2150.
Okay, so yeah, a bit of a quiet period now on ATC. If I check who's online again to go for an update for that, because there are now quite a few controllers coming in. Switzerland's completely covered. Yeah, Zurich's got ATIS ground and tower. Centre's got this guy we're on right now, Andre Boni. Germany's completely covered. We've got Munich, we've got Berlin, we've got whoever. Dusseldorf, that's Dusseldorf. Whoever Golf is. And then, like I say, later on we'll be talking to London Centre and potentially Stansted if someone logs in for that. I don't think we'll get Stansted, but it'll be nice to see one, that's for sure. Yeah, the evening's certainly quite nice there. Quick look at the overhead panel just to make sure that's all looking good. which it is. Aircraft's nice and calm, no real turbulence or shaking at all. Actually, this needs to come on. And then, yeah, everything else looks pretty good.
Yes, 1077, continue present heading, expect direct to Hotel 281 later. Maintaining present heading, Roger, Swiss 1077.
Okay, slight shake there. That'll just be the engines thrusting up slightly. And of course, with the fairly harsh default explained weather changes, you'll always see the aircraft jump out a tiny bit. That wasn't a particularly hard one, that.
This 107, 7, what is expected, turn left, heading 090. Left heading 090, Swiss 1077. Wait, so 157, turn right, heading 090.
Right heading 090, Swiss 2157.
It's 902, so departure, good evening, your identified climb 7,000 feet. Place 902, climb 7,000 feet. Place 1077, turn right direct to Hotel 281, clear line of approach from my side. Right direct to Hotel 281, clear down of approach on it 286 1077. Place 2157, descend.
I think being X-Enviro, but not sure if it's worth it. I'm not too sure. When it comes to X-Enviro, I'm very, very middle ground of it. I mean, yes, it adds volumetric cloud seer simulator and it does, I guess, bring it up to modern day technology. But at the moment, the clouds for me just look a little weird. They just look a little weird. Shaving foam and cotton candy are the two main comparisons. But I think it needs just a bit more work until I'm going to look into it. It's not cheap either, $79.99, so I'm going to take an arm and a leg to buy. But like I say, some people love it, and it really does look good in some situations. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some screenshots out there with X-Enviro that really, really look fantastic. Others not so, so I'm sure there's like a panel or something you can actually go for tweaks as well. But like I say, I want to see a bit more into it and kind of fix out the, I guess, the fake look about them before we before I go and buy it myself. Yeah, so we're coming up to an hour now of going live, 59 minutes and 8 seconds now. And time in the air, that'll be around 40 minutes, won't it? Just shy of that maybe. There we go, 35 minutes 35. Time to arrival 1 hour 8. This claims it at 1 hour 45. If it could be a 40-minute early arrival, then don't get me wrong, I'd love that. But it says, like I said, it's our approach that matters. And in this case, who I wonder, could I request direct to Khotan? Khotan or Podok? Ryanair 99 Mike X-Ray, could we possibly request directs to Rotom or even Podok?
Wait, 2157, turn left heading 060.
Left heading 060, Swiss 2156.
And then line Mike X-Ray, you will leave shortly my airspace. So my TD come 1, 2, that's right. Share 5, fella.
No worries. 1 to 2.8 for 99 Mike X-ray. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Okay, so we'll tune to Unicom now. Rather than get our requests of directs, we are now disconnecting. So, oops. But no, yeah, we'll fly the route as it is then, pre-scheduled. Hopefully the winds won't be too bad this angle. In fact, it might be slightly better now. But regardless, we'll continue as it is. We should have enough fuel anyway. And like I said, we are 40 minutes early. Want to take time into account for approach. That may be just a standard 10-minute arrival. Yeah, so Lima X-ray. What country's Echo Lima for airport codes? Could be Luxembourg. Could be Luxembourg. What's PAX? PAX is the passenger simulation add-on from TFDI Designs. I don't actually know what it stands for. At least I do know what it stands for, just don't remember it. Passenger and crew experience. That's it. Passenger and crew experience. But in short, it simulates passengers into your aircraft, which you need to look after throughout your flights, and then also gives you a chance to control the flight attendants based on stuff that I can command them to do, or speak to a microphone and talk to passengers directly as well, which is a cool feature of PAX. So set as a generic, goes to cabin, and
Or speak to a microphone and talk to passengers directly as well, which is a cool feature of PAX.
And so basically, depending on what I say and how I say it, it will affect the passengers' moods, reactions, and overall flight status. So right now they're very satisfied, and it's my job to keep them happy throughout the duration of this flight. It's a very cool little add-on, one that I do thoroughly enjoy. It is quite new, came out 2 weeks ago. Actually no, came out last week actually, came out on Tuesday, so very new, it's in early access. But one that I'm surprised doesn't have quite as much of a following. I mean, from TFDI, so same people as smart cars and advances set up. Certainly not a major add-on. It is payware, yes. $29.99. But one that I'd say is very much worth it. So this is the pack setup here. A very nice add-on. One that I would heavily recommend to basically anyone that wants to put a bit of life into their flights. I mean, as a long-term FS Passengers user, I've been long looking for the alternative add-on, and this is about as close as we're going to get, so why waste it, I guess. You got the Zibo, and couldn't get starts from cold on dark, and I also know what he did for watching videos and other stuff. It's not particularly too difficult. I mean, without messing around the overheads, I guess a quick run through would be, start off with the, let's go, where is it? External lights, number power. So it starts off the battery, close the switch, and then close the emergency exit lights. Sets the left two fuel pumps to on, followed by the APU. So APU starts, hold start until this dial goes. Once APU is active, switch the two middle dials. Oh yeah, also at start, make sure you have got the GPU connected and all that. So that's from the tablets. Once the APU is started and active, turn on the APU bleeds. Following that would then be your pushback and all that. And then it's start the engine, turn on the fuel flow once it's reached 18 on the lower dial. Then it's engine 1 start, same as before. Switch the bleeds over to the engines, turn on both packs, turn off the APU, turn on all the fuel pumps as well, and then you are set to go. I've done a couple of videos on 1037, so if you want to watch some of those, then you're always free to. What add-ons do I recommend? Well, yeah, Zibo first of all is a must. And are you looking for just freewares or payware add-ons as well? I mean, Ortho Tiles are really good for freeware, although I don't understand personally how to get the overlays working, but some do, and like I say, the Ortho Tiles can look stunning. In terms of other freewares, what have I got installed, which is free Squawk Box, VATSIM and all that. So if you're not connected to other pilots and stuff, talk to them, then Squawk Box and VATSIM is the easiest way to do it. You have got the other one as well, Swift, but I find that a little bit too complicated for now. Got the landing speed plugin, that's always a nice one to have. That's payware. Flyblue is always good for scripts, which is also throwing a few other freewares, for example, 3JFPS Wizard, which is good for managing your frames in sim. Can be a little bit low when I'm running OBS, but I'm looking to ways to fix that. And well, that's about it for freewares really. A lot of the better houses are payware, but when it comes to X-Plane, be very careful about the payware you buy, because while some of it is good and some of it is phenomenal, there are one or two add-ons out there which ain't quite so. Which is why I do like to put a slight warning behind X-Plane payware. It's one of those games where X-Plane's been around for ages, but only in the recent one, 11, has it really gained some prominence. And so, yeah, it's still got some really older add-ons that are there, which people kind of put together and threw onto the market. And then also, in the case of when X-Plane levels started to grow, a few like cash grab developers who just threw market stuff onto the market, they kind of left as well. You're planning to do a West Atlantic cargo flights tonight from Hanover to Legion and Zibo, and you were using sim route planning. Yeah, sounds good, and thank you for subscribing, much appreciated. But yeah, enjoy that flight, Ryan. Sounds good. Thank you, Adhip. There's your subscriber notification coming up. Let's actually put my channel now. I'm not quite sure. Let me just bring up the subscriber count. There you go, 2534. Thank you very much. Welcome, D Aviation. How you doing today? How you doing? Hope you're well, man. Thank you for subscribing to B Aviation. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. So, we should now be over halfway through into the flights. Flying to Bristol, we are flying to the far west of the UK. Not counting Republic of Ireland, of course, yes. We are now into French airspace. And so, we've got a fair bit to go, not particularly too much. Have a look at our flight time as it is. We departed 49 minutes ago, time to arrival 56. We're actually not even halfway there yet. Still got a little bit left to go until we reach that point. So you're new to X-Plane and bought it on Thursday. As the box really nice, especially when it comes to FSX. Would I recommend X-Life? X-Life. That's and I'm not spoken too much about. I mean, it really comes down to what you want, basically. Again, it's not that enough personally use myself, so one I can't really put too much of an opinion behind. I mean, I've heard of it. I don't particularly know much about how it works, and it brings AI aircraft and basic ground services to your flight simulator. There's also a freeware version of the payware, so I don't know is the honest answer, I'm afraid, for you, Ryan. It's not an add-on that I'm too familiar with. The only Jar Designs add-on I ever really use is ground handling. We're in the air, so it won't actually work for us, but yeah, ground handling is what I use for ground service and stuff in the aircraft, like GSX and FSX, but not quite as good, actually, I would say, so it's not quite as active. But not bad, and also the only real one we've got for the Sims, so what can I say about it, really? Welcome back, Goran. How you doing? You've heard it's good. You heard it's good as standard for AI. You can have the world traffic free. The downside where it clashes with the statistics on ground. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, it's not that I've got too much knowledge about. Whenever I do fly, I'm flying mainly on VAT sims, so AI traffic is not quite something I've got much of a problem with. When the AI traffic in my sim is real world people also flying an X-Plane 11 or FSX B3D, so give it a go, I guess. There is a freeware light version, so give that one a try. What is there to lose, really? Yeah, certainly looking a lot better with the brighter sky, I have to say. I have to say, you're falling in love with the Toeless. Constant flying, absolutely. It's a great add-on. Probably one of the best paywares on the entire X-Plane platform. There's a lot of paywares that don't come close to this level of simulation. I think the two standouts are the Toeless and the Flight Factor, the A320 and the A319. A few other add-ons come into prominence, and a lot of the Flight Factor Boeing's pretty good as well, 75, 767. Well, the 75, I believe, is now going for a bit of a rework. But like I say, there's a few good add-ons out there, a few great standout ones, but other ones not so, such as the Peter Hager A380s or Peter Hager in general, basically. He's one of the... Thing about Peter Hager, he's been around in X-Plane since X-Plane 9. And so, for 9 and 10, he was kind of like the only Airbus developer out there. And I guess for X-Plane 9 it's alright, but as the sims got more advanced and 11 came to prominence, his aircraft never really got better, I guess, over time. As a result, yeah, he's been kind of left in the dark and pushed aside by some of the higher class developers. Sad story for him, but what can you say, really? It's what happens when you get stuck in the past. And so I'm sure, like 5 to 6 years ago, Peter Hager was a great add-on developer for stuff, but for more recent ones, not so. You want to gradually go into VATSIM, maybe later Pilot Edge, just so you know what to say to controls properly and what would be the best aircraft you've been on. Mine was a Ryanair, Echo India, Echo Sierra Yankee. Like I said, VATSIM is something that you just pick up over time. For a little while I was using only text in VATSIM, but the more you fly in quieter airspaces, the more you get used to it. And nowadays I'm more than happy to fly into busier airspaces. I'd try and avoid Manchester and Gatwick still, that's just me personally, because especially Gatwick, being a training base, it's not always the highest level of communications there, but on a quiet day it's alright, and they are usually quite good for control as well, being active. But yeah, it's like I say, it's certainly a thing that you will pick up over time, and like I said, now I usually fly with voice for 99% of my flights. Best aircraft I've been on, personally, what could it be? Because I've been on... Well, smallest aircraft I've flown is a CTSW, a Flight Design CTSW, which is a microlight, followed by the Icarus C42. I've done an ATR 42 even, small prop plane in Greece, and I went to that 2 weeks ago. I flew with Olympic Airlines, subsidiary of Aegean. Been on a Boeing 737, been on an A319, been on an A320, British Airways and EasyJet. So what would be the best aircraft I've ever been on, personally? I mean, the ATR was alright, although not my favourite. Microlight's pretty cool, can't deny that. Yeah, I think it may be the CCSW I flew on. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what the tail code that one is. But I can grab it now, let's quickly find it. And I've got pictures saved. It's the Icarus. That's Helsinki. It was, there you go, before I went to Helsinki. Golf Charlie Echo Kilo Delta. Golf Charlie Echo Kilo Delta. An Icarus C42, this one, to be exact. Nope, CTSW, sorry. CTSW. 42's a different company, sorry. My mistake. And then now being a part of the British Microlight Association, hoping to do my licence this year. We'll see where it ends me up. But things are certainly looking positive for my real world flying, that's for sure. And this month, next month, I'll certainly also try and pick up a couple of hours as well towards the licence. Your favourite was the Vigilante Glider, and that was also the most recent. Sounds. Oh right, Echo Sierra Yankee was the most recent. Sounds good. Sounds good. My most recent. Let me get a tailcode for my most recent. It was a Ryanair 73 from Athens to Luton, and that was. Grab my photos up. May 19th. Tailcode was Echo India. Golf Sierra Juliet. So quite a modern one actually, quite a new one for Ryanair. Golf Sierra Juliet. So we should be coming up to Paris now. Paris actually to our left, so maybe not see it from this distance. But most of our France crossings now mostly done. And then it'll be onwards to the UK, across the channel, possibly over Isle of Wight, for making it there. You're on the new cabin interior. And then you got the old... hang on. Was it the new cabin interior? Mine was the old cabin, got to see an Aeroflot 737 parked again next to you. Mine was the new sky interior for the Ryanair, new sky interior. So I've done a couple of the new ones actually now, I've done a couple of the old ones as well recently. But I'm not going to lie, the new interior, sky interior is really nice to fly in. Old one's not perfect, still alright for a short distance flights, but regardless it's still a decent plane to fly. Yeah, sky interior is certainly comfy, certainly a bit bigger, more spacious, and yeah, it can be nice to fly, especially with the mood lighting. And the few night flights that they actually do turn off the lights, which certainly is a nice extra for us. Do you hear about the problems with the 787 73NG family? Yes, I do. Plus, it's not the 73NG, it's the 737 MAX families. So the 787s are currently having brake issues where the brake pedals... do you call them pedals? I'm not too sure, but the actual brake system within the cockpit's not working functionally, properly. And the brake pads are getting worn out quicker than they should be. So for at least 100 aircrafts, they now need to replace the brake pads and whole braking system, which will take about 3 weeks to do for each aircrafts. And then with the 737 MAXes, well yeah, we all know about MCAS and all that. Now, because there's a few smaller errors that are now coming into light as well, such as brake light issues. Will you fly the MAX Ryanair when it gets delivered? Absolutely, absolutely. I'm one of the few people that will still fly a MAX regardless of the issues. In fact, I'm keeping a close eye on the very first MAX flights. I'm going to take a day off work if it's on a weekday and do that. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get that flight and then get back home quickly as well. But yeah, I still fly the MAX or any airline if the flight came available to me. I mean, I'm sure once they are back in service, they'll have been scrutinised enough to have been completely riddled out of bugs and all that. And even before the issues, at least even now, it's quite simple to know that because it's so well publicised, to turn off MCAS, stable it, you'd be flicking the stabiliser trim switches here, and then manually adjusting the trim wheel here. The sway panel to the left, I'm not sure if the NG has it or not. It has no wheel steering. Yeah, there's one more switch apparently to the left somewhere. You could also turn off MCAS for 10 seconds. Well, I'm not quite sure where that switch one is. Could it be down here? For air, windshield. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where the other one is. There is another switch that disengages MCAS for a short period. I wonder if they'll change how they operate. With the malfunction, the Max, they'll be interesting. There won't be any changes to operation, I don't think. I mean, at the end of the day, the 737 series has always been a short-haul aircraft. More training will definitely come in for pilots, that's for sure. But operation-wise, they won't be too different from what they were beforehand. I mean, there was a massive fair about the fact that the safety thing was an optional extra, the dual MCAS check, to which they'll give you an alarm if there was an issue. But even before, even with an optional extra, I mean, now it is standard, but before, it was always something that all European airlines and all American aircrafts had opted in for. So every single European, every single American MAX operator were fine because they had got the alarm system in place. They bought the optional extra. The Africans and Asian airlines that own the MAX, the African airlines I'm not too sure about, but I know that the Asian airlines, only about half of them opted in for that optional extra, the other ones didn't. So, yeah, like I say, making it an optional extra, maybe not the best way of doing things, but at least in Europe, it's not particularly the worst, I guess, for flying a MAX. Semi-dim on Discord, checking at the moment, doing flights right now in the 737 Poseidon 8 from San Francisco to Philadelphia. Have fun with that, have fun. Yeah, the P8 Poseidon, the military variant of the Boeing 737-800. Oh yes, the leading edge slats. Also something that has been found faulty in some aircraft due to a supplier issue. Yeah, it's another one that, because Boeing's had a lot of the spotlight recently with safety failings, there has been a lot more to pick up. I mean, we'll see what happens in the future. And likewise, I'd say if another airline manufacturer had the same scrutiny as well, you'd find failings of a lot of stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, aviation is quite a dangerous thing to get into. I mean, at the end of the day, typically speaking, you're in a metal tube hurtling through the sky at 500 miles per hour at 38,000 feet in the air, 11,000 meters in the air. So it's not a safe thing, I guess, on paper. But as time goes on, I mean, like I say, Boeing's getting a lot of the limelight right now of the safety failings and the scrutiny. I'm sure that once things calm down, they'll certainly be a lot safer to fly on. And if you checked any aircraft as well, you certainly find a lot of failings. At the end of the day, when it comes to plane maintenance, duct tape is your best friend. Duct tape seems to solve just about anything and everything. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes in the future. Like I say, it's not too early to say a lot of things. There's certainly a lot of things that will change as a result of the MAX. How do you get the cabin views? It's easy. You can just use the arrow keys to move around the cockpit of the aircraft. Click on the doors, look around, that's all good. And likewise, if you push and hold the control key on your keyboards and then use the numpad to select the number, you then get to preset a number of predefined like locations where you can go stand around and put the camera external as well. And it works for all aircraft, not just the Zibo and X-Plane. So yeah, France will now be behind us. Paris, sorry, will be behind us. So a little bit left for France to go for. And then it's the English Channel. Boeing should invest in flex tape. Ryanair already has a bulk in their centre. Not particularly funny, but hey. How do you set up VNav? I can't figure it out. Sure, I'll show you how to set up VNav in the 737. Just going to adjust my microphone as well so you guys can hear me properly. Perfect, right, so FMS, go to route, go back a page, and then plug in your flight plan into this. Once you've done that, go to init.ref and set your perfs. Make sure that your important ones, your cost index is set. The cost index will depend on which airline you're flying, because that kind of determines your top speed and your fuel burn. And also make sure that you've got your altitude set as well. So in my case, it's flight level 380. Those are important too for VNav, now nav, and ZFW is just requirements. Once you've got your cost index and altitude set, as well as your routes planned, just click on accept, which will be on the lower right. In fact, I can probably make that visible without adjusting my flight in any way. There you go, so click execute, and then it will bring it onto the legs page. And then that's where we have your speed, 0.771, your Mach, and then your altitude, flight level 380. And that, I guess, is the easiest way to ensure that your LNAV and VNav will be functional. And also make sure that your altitude is set to your cruising altitude. So in my case, it's flight level 380 for 8,000. And the most important step as well, if you don't want to pass out and die, basically, have your altitude set to your cruise as well. Because without it, your packs will fail, and well, like I say, you'll just suffocate and die. Right, so just double check for any active London controllers. Echo Golf Kilo Kilo, so yeah, Gatwick's active, Heathrow's active, Stansted's active, Golf Golf Delta ground. So we have got Bristol ground, actually. Didn't think we'd actually get anyone at Bristol, but hey. Although, I don't see any centres for the UK. No, we don't have any centres. So we'll be doing manual descent. we'll be sure to announce everything and anything and everything into that, because yeah, it could get quite busy. Hang on, we do have potentially got London Centre. Let me just quickly tune into that. It's 132.6. 132.6. Let me just see if they're active or not, because sometimes projects fly can be a little bit backdated. Yeah, that's an absolutely nothing, so there is no London Centre at the moment. That is fine. So we'll do our own descent. There's a few aircraft actually in Bristol at the moment. There are 3 on the ground. And we should be joining them in no longer than 1 hour and 2 minutes. Or, in comparison, 26. I'd say it'll probably be around there in the middle. When we start our top of descent, we'll be sure to stick our what's it called? Stick our approach in as well. How do you use the head tilt? That is a payware add-on. I use the XP Realistic Pro. Some like it, some don't. Basically, it's a fly lure macro, XP Realistic Pro, and this is a payware add-on where you get to kind of set up your head tilts for all different aircraft. So I got one for 738 set up. I should have one for 732 as well, and then I've also got a couple for the I should have one for the A319 as well. Toeless. Don't think I do. Okay. I've also got general aviation. You've got jets. You've got gliders. You've got turbine aircraft as well. And those you can go into a bit more detail with, but I do like it. I do like it. A few different settings you can go through as well, and just adds again a bit more life to your simulator. But head tilt is not there by default. Have a look at the winds. 12 knots. It has comes down 260. And I also want to have a look at the potential winds as well coming into land at Bristol, so I can start setting up our arrival. It will just be a standard Charlie Papa Tango approach, which doesn't exist. Okay. Go into charts for that one then. So let's zoom into Bristol, have a look at the runway in use. No active aircraft in Bristol. Oh yeah, there is. EasyJet 14 Juliet. You are coming in from the other end, I presume. So yeah, it will be runway heading to the east. ILS 27 will be you in active use. And yeah, if we're into heading 260, that does make sense. Right, let's go get some charts for Bristol. I've got charts. Should get a Navigraph subscription. It would be very handy for me. Go for Jet View, since it is a large airport, which is always good. Alright, Bristol, runway information. They're coming in from the east. Nothing. Hang on, this is departure enter. It's a SID, yes, and just star. There we go. So this won't be this one. Won't be this one. It shouldn't be this one. Have a look at Paxson. Paxson. Have a look at it. Let's go into plan mode. Zoom in a tiny bit. And then go step, 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 step. Lindsay, sorry, Nori, Charlie Papa Tango, and X more. And thrice. Maybe not. This one. If we just go straight from a Charlie India to Charlie Papa, that seems to be the only realistic way. I can see us making a nice approach in for this runway. India Nori Charlie Papa Tango straight to runway. So we'll plug that in. Let's get rid of that star so it's not actually using it. And yeah, so just connect those two together and execute it at that. If we do get a controller contacting us, I can always change it to their requirements, but like I say, as it stands, I don't really have an approach suitable for us on the default database. They are always welcome to change that. So what are you guys saying now? Boeing should invest in the flex state. Oh, you've already said that. What aircraft do you like to use head tilt? We've done that. Looks interesting. Might consider it. Like I say, it's a nice little add-on. I do enjoy using. Not too expensive either. And as long as you've got the Fly Lure plugin set up, then it's not too bad to have either. We have left French airspace. I've just realised that now. We're flying over the English Channel. So next time we'll be seeing would be the UK. Top sent in a couple of minutes, not too far now. And then I'll certainly be seeing how much time we've actually cut off the approach. Could be up to 20 at this point. So, what is actually the intercept altitude for the glide slope at? It's 2,500, so a little higher than the last few airports I've been flying to. There you go, departing aircraft on runway 27 Bristol. There's also a Thomas Cook coming in to land at 27 Bristol. So like I said, there's a bit of traffic going on there, and there is ground also in control. We're definitely speaking to grounds. What's our clock's difference? You're set to 22:36. Oh, you're set to local time. No, you can't be set to local time. Because this is local time right here, 20:36. -1 for Zulu. You're still on Italy. You're still on Italy time. Time, dates, yeah. Alright, so that's UTC. And that's manual time. Oh, okay. Yeah, I should also really start to remember to use this chrono clock as well. I keep forgetting every time I fly. It's nice to have your flight time tracks within the aircraft as well. One day I'll remember it. If not, people just shout at me in chats, Drawyah, remember to use the clock. And then if I can clear it, there we go. That's always easy to work with as well. But yeah, always just remind me in chats, Drawyah, use the clock before you forget. Alright, so expect to see the Coast UK come into view in a couple of minutes. Shouldn't be too far from it now. In fact, that could be a coastline right there. Very much so. Just the lighting in the clouds do kind of obscure it a little. If I zoom in, you can just about see Orbex trying to work its action below. Not particularly clear. Once we start a descent, we'll certainly be able to see more of that. Echo... actually a little bit early to announce the descent just yet. Right, lower altitude now, 2,500, ready for descent. A bit of a lag spike with the change of clouds. Right, descending from flight level 380 for 2,500. Expecting, I'll type the whole thing rather than shortening it. Runway 22 Echo Golf Delta ETA 20 mins. Right, so that's now been plugged in. Let's now speak to the passengers. So where's our current ETA right now? 50 minutes till arrival, 49 till arrival, so certainly a bit of a discrepancy. 15 to 49. How early would that put us if I also take into account the taxi time? If I say add a 15, so 30 minutes. Also, yeah, 20 minutes early. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck. We are now starting our descent and should be in Bristol in approximately 20 minutes, meaning we'll be nice and early for us. And so, once again, we do thank you flying Ryanair, and we'll be on the ground very shortly. Zibo time will also come on as well, so please get yourselves ready for landing, which will be shortly following. There we go, so this is the header schedule for 20 minutes.
From the flight deck,
and also see what's sign
and
on.
should be in Bristol in approximately 20 minutes, meaning we'll be be nice
Ooh,
and
a
early
bit of a
for
lag
us.
spike.
So once again, we do thank you for flying Ryanair, and we'll be on the ground very shortly. Zibo time will also come on as well, so please get yourselves ready for landing, which will be shortly following.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
There we go. See what sign is on. We've announced that we're going to be 20 minutes early, which should really make the passengers quite happy now. I'm very satisfied again. And still, given the fact that we have got 28 minutes, we're meant to be on the ground. We'll certainly do well for the time we've got available. There you go, got London Heathrow actually visible below us. Showing that the clouds right now don't quite show the same effect. Yeah, that is London below us. That's the M25. It's going to be the sun right now, just kind of overshadowing the entire thing. As you descend, the ground will become more visible to us. But yeah, London's certainly going to be a bit of a frame rate killer that I cannot really work around. There's Heathrow. Might actually see a bit of Northolt as well, possibly. There's Wembley Stadium, home of English football. And have we descended or not? Yes we have, so I'm not quite sure my VNAV hasn't reset. Very peculiar, not exactly following our speed either. Drag required, I'll put in spoilers. There we go, that does help. I'm a little concerned about my descent now. And the fact that yeah, the throttles are staying at max. Reason why? Probably that. There we go. So yeah, we are now quite high. If a holding loop is required, I may go for it. Yeah, we'll do a holding loop at Charlie Papa Tango, because we are certainly a bit higher than we should be. Okay, if that's invalid, we'll go at Norrie then. Invalids. Execute that. Holding at waypoint Norrie for descent. Echo Golf Golf Delta traffic. Like I said, I'm a little higher with that right now, and basically because my throttle spikes a little bit, what's happened there is, well, yeah, it held the throttles up to a slightly higher speed than it should have been right now. So I'm flying a slightly higher altitude than I should be. We will do a fast descent, that is quite possible in this aircraft. I'll say requiring a hold at Norrie will certainly help things as well, smoothing out. There's Heathrow behind us. Not looking too bad. A bit more visual now that we are coming at the lower altitudes. And then the more we descend, the more we'll be able to narrow the aircraft down as well. We'll only do one loop in Norrie. Don't think a second one will be required. Especially if you look at our altitude at this point. We should be at 165. We're at 285, so yeah, time it takes to do one loop should be enough to bring us down. Loop will slow us down. And with spoilers out, so that won't cause much hassle either. As long as we're below 16,000, that will be fine for us. There we go, so making our first turn on the loop. This means that passengers on the right side might actually get to see Heathrow again. And then those on the left as well, once we do the second loop. We are at a high enough altitude to not cause any issues, and Heathrow's actually a little bit further away than I thought it was, so I know it's a train. I know it's not, it's just us turning. Man, I am going a mess. Yeah, if the airport's down there. No, Heathrow is that one. Yes, that's Heathrow. Looking very standard. Left hand side passengers look at the sky. Turn almost complete, and spoilers disarm since the aircraft has slowed down. 21,000 feet. We will continue to descend. Like I say, I want to be around 16 once we complete the loop. I also want to check, do we have the dome lights on? Because they shouldn't be. No. Just that we've got some lights in the sky. There we go, turn complete. Now it's going to use descent. There you go, speeds 1265, target altitude 16,511. Fix the Norrie, inbound to 202 right turn, leg 1.5 minutes. It will be very visual in this airspace since we don't know who could be around us. It's quite a busy one over London, although quite clear at the moment, so not having much issue with that. Heathrow's just ahead of us. In fact, Heathrow is our alternative if we do fail to land at Bristol. If I have a look at the flight plan, and yeah, I can drag it on the screen here. Alternative is Heathrow, so that there. If we can't make it for whatever reason, like I said, I don't think we've got any issues to land at Bristol, especially if the winds are calming down now. Right, here's the turn. Drag is being used, and next leg will be Charlie Papa Tango as soon as we complete this right hand leg. Speed brakes disarm now, since like I say the turn does slow the aircraft down without too much hassle. Exiting hold, continuing to Echo Golf Golf Delta. Before I even post that, because I want to leave the actual hold first, and also, do we have anybody at Bristol still? Yes, there is. Bristol ground still exists. So we'll be talking to them once we do touchdown. Golf Papa inbound, sending to 020. London City traffic at 4,000, yeah, so it was good to kind of mention that I'm holding at this point, as there are a few aircraft in this airspace. So I'll get close to that Norway waypoint before I do select the XU option. Alright, seatbelt sign is active. At 10,000, we'll bring on the landing lights as well as logo lights, since it will be required for night time. Putting the aircraft in the hold, hopefully it hasn't killed too much of my time. Yeah, 15 to landing. Smart car's posted at 11, so got to be quite a quick taxi, I guess, on the ground. But regardless, staying out we are 20 minutes early, I guess does help with the timing. What is the frequency for ground? It's 121.8. So we'll get that ready on the standby. Like that. And then the aircraft will now do the rest. Yeah, not too far away now. Make sure that frequencies and set have been sorted. So it'll be 30 flaps 149, 110.15, 268. 110.15, 110.15. And then what did I say it was? It was 268, 268. Not too difficult to get to. There we go. So Bristol's runway has now been set up, and as soon as we connect to it on the localizer, we'll then be able to guide the aircraft in for a landing. passing through flight level 140, 14,000. Let's get the altimeter check for Bristol. So refresh that. It's 1018, which is what I've already set for. And that's 1020, so 1018, 1018, back up also to 1018. A lot of people forget about the backup barometer, but it does need to be set. Yes, I will be doing an ILS into Bristol. So you just, well, not landing, no, it will be a manual touchdown. But I'll be using the guided approach to about 1000. Auto lands in X-Plane aren't quite great, to be honest with you. The curved runways do confuse the aircraft. Flat runways are usually better when it comes to simulated stuff, but maybe one day we'll see an upgrade to the ILS systems in X-Plane. But now I'll be using it for a guided approach before switching to manual. We're at fairly stable 280 knots now. Although passing through 11,000, we will need to bring this below 250 very shortly. Airport down there, although Bristol's still a little bit ahead of me. Cabin crew 10 minutes to landing, 10 minutes. General.
Cabin crew 10 minutes to landing, 10 minutes.
Bring on the spoilers, bring it below 250 knots. Landing lights active. Leg lights active.
We have begun our final descent into. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables
Auto
are
brake
stowed
set
and
to
in full
2.
upright position. Please also store any carry-on items
Below
either in the
250,
seat back pocket or
spoilers
under the seat
cuts.
in front of you.
We can now descend below 10,000. And get ourselves now ready for a landing. Heading wise 264, runway 268. We're already pretty much aligned the runway. It'll be directly ahead of us. Continuing this, it'll be a slight right turn once we connect. As an approach, this is pretty much perfect for us. Exactly on the glide slope, exactly in the right direction. Great, the weather changed right now, so it has slightly thrown the attitude off, but not by much. Yeah, use it to speed up the aircraft slightly. Yeah, approach doing pretty good now. Down to 9,000. Starting the flaps. First stage. Do second stage in a couple of minutes. Right, so we're about 20 miles away from the airport. We're now 23.3 from the intercept. And there, down to 8,000. Switch altimeter to barometer. Everything has been set up for landing, lighting all set. I'm quite happy as it is now. Maybe a little bright, but not distracting. Bristol Airport has just come into view. That is what we'll be landing on in a very few minutes. Passengers are very satisfied. 8 minutes to go for that, which is fine. And then so do one more communication before landing, which should be cabin crew sit down. So we've got a couple of moments before we do that yet. Yeah, it's nice to say 1,000 feet per minute descent rate. Does bubble up to 850 slightly, but nothing too much. Yeah, landing down in dusk should be alright. Yeah, probably coming in a little bit slow. Yeah, we're within 4 minutes now from the intercept, within 4 or 5 minutes. 16 miles total. There we go, we are now connected to the localizer. We're just a little bit too far away to switch to approach mode just yet. VOI localizer actually you could turn on in a couple of moments, that would be too much of an issue. Got a few clouds to glide through. There has now texted out. We are slightly, well, it's slightly to the left apparently, but it's not the case just yet. Passenger to the right, get the M4, the motorway that connects the London to the east, sorry, to the west even, and it ends at Bristol before going into a few smaller roads down Cornwall. And then passenger on the other side, they just get a view of the towns to the south of England. So I see a little bit brighter to the right side as well, as the sun will still be over the US and not setting for a few more hours over there. Continue with a few more flaps. Bring on the POI localizer. Thank you very much, although luck not really required. It's just a standard landing this. On final runway 27, Echo Golf Golf Delta. Gear down, wait till about 2,000 or 3,000 feet for gear. So it looks like a rather slow approach actually. It's 149 speed we need to be at. Winds are slight crosswind, 6 knots coming in at 189, so that will need to combat, but not particularly major. Cabin crew, please be seated for landing.
Cabin crew, please be seated for landing.
There we go, bring it on to approach mode. Single channel's fine. We aren't requiring to edit that in any way. Aircraft will continue to descend as well until it goes down to glide slope, which isn't too far away now. And there you go, 2,500 is the intercept altitude for it as well. Final check of the FMS, looking fine. All looking fine as well. Attitude's all good. Speed we shouldn't really require since go around is not gonna. Yeah, I don't think we need to go around for this one. Aircraft's pretty much perfect on points. Gear down. Laps 30. We've actually got 2 more stages of flats, so we get to 30. There we go, flaps 30. Also, it's quite a shallow approach into Bristol, mainly because it is flat land around here, and we're also quite close to the coast. It's a very, very shallow approach in. Try not to go too low if we hit the ground, but don't go too high either. Floating, if I look at the weight actually at the fuel, 1870 both tanks. Yeah, so doing alright for weight as well. Should be a fairly standard touchdown. There we go. Now onto the altitude adjustments. There we go. So that's 149. Let the auto throttle adjust our speeds before we switch that one off. Auto throttle cuts. Bring it back a tiny little bit actually, so we can go a little bit too fast. I'd rather be losing a bit of speed at this point rather than gaining it. There you go, count as 1,000 now. Autopilot disconnects in traffic. Oh gosh, why is EasyJet on the runway? Easy. May have to go around if he doesn't move. I'm not quite sure what he's playing. Oh yeah, he's moving. There we go. Autopilot disconnects. Thank you, TCAS, for warning me about him. I'd not have bossed him, but yeah, he is now moving, so that's not much of an issue. Looking good. And there you go, he is now airborne. Okay, a little bit high for the flare. Yeah, we let that drop a little bit, but that's fine. 205. Slow the plane down. 80 knots, reverse thrust cuts. Bit of throttling. Let's get out of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins, as items may have been shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to
Landing
ensure a
lights
smooth
off.
continuation of your journey.
Taxi lights on. And let's start up the 8PU. We'll announce that we cleared the runway once we have left the runway area there. In fact, let's slow the plane down a tiny bit as well. Flaps now come up. Yeah, it's not exactly a major airport for a taxi. Terminal is just over ahead of us. And I believe it's Park Anywhere. Thank you. Echo Golf Golf Delta. Clear of runway. Alright, so find the gates. I believe it's just okay to bring it to the left here now. So follow this one around. I don't quite know the ground here at Bristol. I presume that it's these gates over here. That was due to Ryanair. Right hand turn. And halt. That should be enough. Now I should go a little bit more to the left. There we go. Right, hold the brakes. Parking brakes set. Make sure this has been cut as well. APU power on. Switch the bleeds around. And engines off. Also set the left and right packs to off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bristol, where the local time is 10:15, and we have arrived a couple minutes early, thanks to good winds over France. Once again, we do thank you for flying with us today with Ryanair, and we hope to see you in the flights very soon. Cabin crew, disarm doors and cross checks. Hopefully the motorbike won't add too much background noise to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bristol, where the local time is 10:15.
So set off the
and we have arrived
anti-collision lights.
early, thanks to
See what's saying come
over
off.
France. Once again, we do thank you
Go
for flying
back
with us today.
to
Ryanair,
ground services,
and we
set
hope to see
jocks
you in
and
the flights
disconnect.
very soon.
So
Cabin
connects
crew,
even.
disarm doors
Show
and
the
cross checks.
ground. Both set stairs. Also the conveyor belts. Fuel truck's not required since this would be the last flight today, so we'll be doing the full tidy up on the ground. GPU connected. So APU come off, sorry. APU off, APU bleed off. And let's now open the front cargo door. Passengers, we won't disembark just yet. We'll wait for the doors to open, then we can ask Pax to start with the deboarding process. We can also open the door as well, since we are going to be saying goodbye to passengers as they leave. Right, let's open the door. We can do it manually, which I do like about the Zibo. Manual door opening. That's the aircraft. Make sure the APU is now switching off, which it is. And let's now do the final speak to passengers. Well, that was nothing. You may now disembark through the front and rear doors of the aircraft and head into the terminal. Once again, thank you for flying and have a safe journey home. Right, so general address,
Add spark through the
and
front
then
and doors of the
deboarding
aircraft
status
and
check,
head
which will
to
be the start
terminal.
of that.
Once again, thank you for
Okay,
flying,
deboarding started, about
and
6 minutes left, which
have
is
a
fine.
safe
Estimated
journey
arrival a
home.
little late, but
Is
it's
it
alright.
still boarding? Let us know if you need anything.
And then that's the quick status check there. Alright, that's pretty good. Passengers will now be leaving. I need to set this aircraft to cold and dark position, ready for the morning flights tomorrow. So turn on dome lights and turn off all the panel lights, since this will not be required for tomorrow. It'll be daytime by the time next crew get in here. So that comes off. That comes off. These will come off as well, which I used. And then co-pilots I didn't touch. In ref for tomorrow. That's all fine. IRS we can now switch off and off. All dampener off. Window heats can come off, so can the probes. Hydraulics off all tanks since we are on ground power. Paxson's switches are off. Ground power is actually on for a little bit longer. More passengers deboard, and is that everything? Oh yeah, vision lights can come off as well, and logo. Right, so like I say, aircraft will now be secured for the turnaround. And we'll now end the flights on the trackers, so smart cards can finish. Project's flight can also finish. And most important, so can PACX, so end the flight here. Yes we do. Header schedule, so that's always good for the 20 minutes arrival thing we set. Planned arrival was 10 past 9, actual arrival was 13 past 9, so perfect in terms of the time. 26 standing rate, which is fine, passengers are happy, and then that's our flight stuff set. Nothing better than a few midnight drinks, definitely be recommending you at work. Toasting my friends out this airline. Upload, and close. Right, let's have a look at the flight replays, shall we? Well, in fact, let me just close the exits, since as we know, they don't quite close the exits during replays. Have the cargo doors close. VATSIM, we can now disconnect. Thank you very much again. Always good with the VATSIM. Oh, did I not actually speak to ground in the end? You might have disconnected just shy of my landing there. Oops. Yeah, forgot about that guy. Right, let's now go for the replay, shall we? Go back a few minutes. Short final is this. Yeah, I can go from here. Right, so, interior view. Left and right view will switch between the two, since it's fairly standard for both. I think the right hand side view will be the more impressive one. Got the motorways and the city of Bristol in the background there. Quite dark as well, I must say, because we have got the cabin lights switched off. But certainly not bad looking by any means. So nice and stable. Also, we did have the EasyJet on the runway at this point departing, which we're keeping a close eye on. Here we go, now entering towards the airport. There's the car park. There's the terminal. And down. Yeah, not a bad landing that overall. It's actually quite a pretty one coming in at the sunset evening time. Twilight, isn't it? Yeah, this is twilight. The last bit of lights before the sun completely sets. I mean, here in London we have very late twilight. Still a bit blue in the sky, but not much by any means. So give it another half an hour and that's going to be totally black outside. And there we go, now leaving the runway from this point. Not a very wide taxiway, but I think we did make that without much issue. Yeah, we're bang on the taxiway there. Right, we'll do one more replay view, this time from the outside. That's a little bit too far, a little far. There we go. In fact, the gear's not down yet, so maybe I asked a bit too far. Hang on, a bit better position. Okay, we're up a tiny bit more. And about now should do. So coming into Bristol airports, everything's looking really nice actually. I'm loving the coloration on that, I have to say. Frame rate's a little low for the replay. There we go, it picks up again. Yeah, this one we have like got manual control. Just bring the aircraft into land. There we go, there's the car park. There's thresholds. And as always, touchdown that we like looking at from this angle. I'll zoom in just a tiny bit as well. Yeah, so we did flare a little early today. I did kind of drop it, just to completely let go of the stick there, right at the end. So slightly heavier touchdown, but still, I think it was like a 206 instead, so... Again, real world pilots don't care about that touchdown rates, but this wasn't a particularly bad one regardless. And then we make our way off the runway. Taxiway's just ahead. Gate's not too far away either. I've never flown to Bristol Airport before in a flight sim. This is first for me, I believe. Actually, no, I have on FS Passengers, but I've not done a 73 Ryanair just yet, so... Yeah, there is some firsts in here for me. Yeah, not bad looking by any means. I'm going to switching the lights around. Ooh, taxi lights not appear in the replays. Okay, that's something I now know. It's kind of odd, Dax. Yeah, landing lights completely cut off. You saw that. I'm surprised that the taxi lights don't show up. I'm not expecting that. Anyways, regardless, we are now at Bristol. Slightly offline, but nothing too terrible. In fact, before I made my adjustment, that probably would have been perfect. But if we go stand on the stairs right here, oh, there's a chain on there. No one's going to actually stand on this, I don't think, during the aircraft boarding stage. Well, actually, sometimes I guess it could be in case they're not ready for boarding. At least in Ryanair, or at least in 737s even, they have their own like little do not enter patch thing. Anyways, we'll stand on the staircase, and it will bring an end to this stream. So once again, we do thank you very much for watching this. Yeah, it was a very good flight overall. Did enjoy this one. No complaints here. So, like I said, thank you guys for watching very much. Do like if you did enjoy it. Do subscribe. On Tuesday, flying to Venice in the real world. So do keep an eye out on my premiere for that. Otherwise, I'm sure I will see you in the very near future. Thank you very much for watching. And goodbye. And good night, actually, as well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.